All my parties, they're gonna be shutting them down. They're gonna probably be arresting me, doing all types of crazy things just because we want to have a good time. Whenever you bring up a
The entertainment world is in turmoil as Sean Diddy Combs, one of the most influential and wealthiest figures in the music industry, finds himself embroiled in a legal nightmare that has sent shockwaves across Hollywood and beyond. Once known for his larger-than-life persona, luxury lifestyle, and business empire, Diddy now faces life in federal prison, a reality that no one, including his loyal followers, ever imagined. This shocking turn of events raises a series of compelling questions. How did Diddy end up in this dire situation? Why was his bail denied? And what does the future hold for him as he prepares for a high-profile trial? In this expanded analysis, we will unpack the intricate layers of Diddy's legal troubles, examining the courtroom drama, the charges against him, and the growing media frenzy surrounding his case. We will delve into the complex family dynamics at play, the mounting pressure on Diddy, and the challenges he faces as he navigates an uphill legal battle. Additionally, we will explore the behind-the-scenes moves made by Diddy's legal team, his strained relationships with his allies, and the public's changing perception of him. This story is more than just a fall from grace. It is a cautionary tale about the intersection of power, privilege, and criminality. A world of privilege and power. Diddy's rise to fame. Sean Diddy Combs, born in Harlem, New York, rose from humble beginnings to become one of the most successful and influential figures in the music industry. With a net worth that once approached $1 billion, Diddy built an empire that spanned music, fashion, television, and film. His label, Bad Boy Records, launched the careers of artists like the notorious B.I.G., Mary J. Blige, and Faith Evans, while Diddy's entrepreneurial ventures, including his Ciroc vodka partnership, clothing lines, and acting roles, made him one of the wealthiest celebrities in the world. Diddy's persona was carefully curated to reflect his success. He was a symbol of ambition, resilience, and the American dream, an example of what could be achieved through hard work and relentless pursuit of success. His public image as a self-made mogul who overcame adversity resonated with millions. Yet, beneath this carefully constructed mask of success, there was a darker reality that only now is coming to light. The breaking point. From lavish life to legal woes. The events leading to Diddy's legal troubles began to unfold after he was arrested on charges of sex trafficking, organized crime, and the exploitation of women. The charges allege that Diddy used his fame and influence to lure women into drugged sexual encounters, which were later referred to as freak-offs, a term that has now become synonymous with the most disturbing accusations against him. These encounters allegedly involved women being coerced or manipulated into sexual acts with male sex workers under the threat of violence or blackmail. For someone with Diddy's stature, the accusations were nothing short of devastating. The charges, which have been extensively documented in court filings, paint a picture of a man deeply entangled in a criminal enterprise that preyed on vulnerable individuals. The prosecution presented a trove of evidence, including surveillance footage, digital communications, and testimonies from former associates, all of which painted Diddy as a key player in orchestrating these illegal activities. The scale and severity of the charges left little room for doubt, and as the legal proceedings progressed, it became clear that Diddy's once invincible public image was beginning to crumble. The courtroom drama, Diddy's denied bail and legal maneuvers. Diddy's arrest marked the beginning of a highly publicized legal battle, with his legal team scrambling to secure his release on bail. However, despite their best efforts, the judge denied his bail request, ruling that Diddy posed a significant flight risk and a danger to the community. In the aftermath, The media has been filled with discussions about the reasons behind this decision and the ongoing legal maneuvering. The case has become a spectacle, with each new development adding more fuel to the fire. Diddy's legal team attempted to block critical evidence from being introduced in court, arguing that the material was either inadmissible or irrelevant to the charges at hand. They also made an appeal to the Second U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals, seeking a third chance at securing his release. However, as of now, Diddy remains behind bars, awaiting trial, and his legal team has been forced to rethink their strategy as the pressure mounts. The weight of evidence. How the prosecution is building its case. The prosecution against Diddy is a formidable one, with a wealth of evidence that paints a damning picture of his criminal activities. The evidence presented thus far includes a detailed account of how Diddy allegedly used his wealth and influence to coerce women into participating in illicit activities. Prosecutors have cited encrypted communications and financial records that trace illicit transactions, linking Diddy to organized criminal networks involved in trafficking and exploitation. One of the most significant pieces of evidence presented by the prosecution was a series of intercepted messages between Diddy and his associates, which allegedly outlined the methods used to lure and control the women involved in the freak-offs. These communications provide a chilling glimpse into the machinations of Diddy's criminal enterprise, showing how he allegedly used his celebrity status to exploit vulnerable individuals for his own gratification. In addition to these digital records, the prosecution has also brought forward witness testimonies from former associates, some of whom have turned state's evidence in exchange for reduced sentences. These testimonies paint a vivid picture of how Diddy's criminal operation was run, how women were manipulated and threatened, and how those who sought to speak out were silenced through intimidation and fear. Legal fumbles. Making enemies in the courtroom. As the legal battle continues, Diddy's defense team has made several missteps that have only added to the prosecution's case. Legal experts have pointed out that one of the biggest mistakes Diddy's team made was antagonizing the judge. During bail hearings, the defense attempted to challenge the judge's rulings and questioned his impartiality, which led to increased scrutiny of their arguments. According to sources inside the courtroom, Diddy's lawyers have been overly combative, which may have only served to further alienate the judge and turn public opinion against him. The repeated denial of bail has also played into the hands of the prosecution, which has used these denials as evidence that Diddy is a risk to the community and a flight risk. With each rejection, the perception grows stronger that Diddy is not only guilty, but also trying to avoid facing the consequences of his actions. The prosecution has seized upon these moments to paint Diddy as a man who will stop at nothing to avoid justice, and the legal community has taken notice of these tactics. The role of power and influence. Diddy's connections and their impact. One of the most intriguing aspects of Diddy's case is the role his connections and influence have played in the public's perception of him. For years, Diddy has been seen as a powerful figure in the entertainment industry, someone who has the ability to shape the careers of those around him and control the narrative surrounding his own life. His vast wealth and extensive network of celebrity friends have allowed him to build an image that has shielded him from public scrutiny, at least until now. However, as his criminal activities have come to light, the support he once received from the Hollywood elite has begun to evaporate. Many of Diddy's former allies and business partners have distanced themselves from him, fearing the backlash that could result from being associated with him. The public's perception of Diddy has shifted dramatically, and those who once propped him up are now quietly withdrawing, unsure of how to navigate the fallout from his legal troubles. This shift in loyalty is not limited to Diddy's personal relationships. The media, too, has changed its tone, with previously favorable outlets now questioning his integrity and character. The tide of public opinion has turned, and with it, the once unassailable foundation of Diddy's empire. The family fallout, Diddy's strained relationships, and regret. Diddy's legal troubles have not only affected his career, but have also taken a toll on his family. As a father of 7, Diddy's relationships with his children have come under intense scrutiny, with some sources claiming that his son's involvement in criminal activities may have been influenced by his own actions and decisions. Diddy, once a symbol of fatherly pride and success, now finds himself at the center of a scandal that threatens to tear his family apart. Behind closed doors, sources suggest that Diddy has struggled to come to terms with the role he played in his son's downfall. While publicly expressing heartbreak and regret, Diddy is also reportedly grappling with the emotional and psychological toll of the case. Insiders claim that Diddy has expressed deep remorse for not intervening sooner in his son's life, though it is unclear whether these feelings will be enough to repair the damage that has been done to his family. The pressure on Diddy is immense, and as the trial date draws near, the strain on his personal and professional life will only intensify. The fallout from this case could have lasting consequences for the Combs family, both in terms of their public image and their financial standing. The fall from glory. Diddy's life behind bars. Sean "Diddy" Combs, once a towering figure in the world of entertainment and business, is now facing a reality so starkly different from his previous life of luxury that it has become an inescapable nightmare. The music mogul, whose name was once synonymous with wealth, fame, and endless privilege, now finds himself trapped in the claustrophobic confines of the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, a federal jail notorious for its brutal conditions. For someone who lived in sprawling mansions, flew in private jets, and attended exclusive parties with Hollywood's elite, the dissonance between his former life and his current incarceration is jarring. This story is about more than just a fall from grace. It is about the psychological and physical toll that life behind bars takes on a man used to living like royalty. From opulence to confinement. Diddy's world before MDC. Diddy's former life was one of unparalleled opulence and influence. As a music producer, entrepreneur, and fashion mogul, he was not just a celebrity. He was an empire in and of himself. His businesses, which spanned across music, fashion, and liquor, made him one of the wealthiest figures in the entertainment industry, with a net worth once believed to be approaching $1 billion. He lived in multi-million-dollar homes, including an expansive estate in Los Angeles worth $48 million, traveled the world in private jets, and was seen at the center of some of the most glamorous events in Hollywood. Everything in Diddy's life seemed to be curated for the public eye, a display of wealth and success that was both aspirational and captivating. His brand, synonymous with luxury, was a reflection of his power, influence, and unshakable confidence. Diddy was an icon, and for many, his life served as the epitome of success. But this image was not just the product of his hard work. It was carefully constructed, nurtured, and protected. And yet, as his legal troubles began to unfold, that image was stripped away, revealing the darkness that had been hiding beneath the glittering surface. A stark contrast. Life in the MDC. Now, as he sits in the Metropolitan Detention Center, MDC, in Brooklyn, New York, Diddy is facing a reality that is incomprehensible to someone who once lived so grandly. The MDC, a notorious federal jail, is not a place known for its luxury or comfort. It is a facility plagued by overcrowding, mismanagement, and inhumane conditions that have earned it a reputation as one of the worst jails in the country. It is here, in a small, isolated cell, where Diddy now spends the majority of his days, stripped of the wealth, luxury, and influence that once defined him. The MDC's conditions are harsh. The cells are small, typically measuring no more than 6 by 9 feet, leaving little room for personal space. The walls are cold, often freezing during the winter months, and the temperatures in the facility fluctuate dramatically, making it unbearably hot during the summer. Inmates frequently complain about the lack of proper sanitation, with the water supply often contaminated and the food quality subpar at best. In a place where the basic human dignity of inmates is not a priority, the contrast between Diddy's former life and his current situation could not be more pronounced. Diddy's cell is equipped with little more than a thin mattress, a toilet, and a steel sink, making it feel more like a prison than a place for someone who once had access to the finest luxuries money could buy. The lack of comfort is exacerbated by the fact that high-profile inmates like him are kept under constant surveillance, further intensifying the psychological strain. In 1690, Diddy is isolated from the rest of the population, forced to endure solitary confinement in a special housing unit, SHU, a place designated for high-risk prisoners. For someone used to being at the center of attention, with entourages of assistants, bodyguards, and loyal followers, this isolation is suffocating. The mental strain, psychological effects of solitary confinement. Solitary confinement is known to have severe psychological effects on inmates, and Diddy is no exception. For an individual like him, accustomed to living in the public eye, surrounded by people, and enjoying a lifestyle of constant social interaction, the experience of being alone for 23 hours a day in a small, stark cell can lead to intense feelings of anxiety, depression, and even paranoia. Experts warn that such confinement, especially for high-profile individuals, can cause long-term psychological harm, and Diddy's situation is no different. In addition to the physical discomforts, the mental toll of solitary confinement can be devastating. The constant surveillance and lack of interaction with other inmates can lead to a sense of complete disconnection from the world outside. This is a far cry from the lavish parties and celebrity-studded events Diddy once attended, where he was the center of attention. Now, he finds himself alone with his thoughts, locked in a world of concrete and steel. The psychological burden is compounded by the weight of his legal troubles. Diddy is facing serious charges, including sex trafficking, organized crime, and exploitation. The severity of the charges, combined with the evidence against him, has left him in a constant state of anxiety and uncertainty. With each passing day, the prospect of a lengthy prison sentence looms larger, and the realization that his life may never return to the way it once was becomes more apparent. For someone who spent decades at the top of the entertainment industry, this harsh reality is almost too much to bear. Struggling for bail. The legal battle ahead. Despite his mounting difficulties, Diddy's legal team has been actively working to secure his release on bail. His attorneys have made several attempts to argue that he is not a flight risk and that his advanced age, 54, his family obligations, he is a father of 7 children, and his status as a U.S. citizen with significant public recognition should be enough to guarantee his return to court. In addition to these factors, Diddy's lawyers argue that his entire life has been lived under public scrutiny, and there is little chance he would flee given the circumstances. However, the prosecution has pushed back, citing Diddy's immense wealth and influence as reasons why he should not be granted bail. The prosecution argues that Diddy has the means to manipulate witnesses, destroy evidence, and potentially escape justice. They emphasize the severity of the charges against him, including allegations of organized criminal activity and abuse, which they claim make him a significant risk to the public. The court has sided with the prosecution on multiple occasions, denying Diddy's bail requests and forcing him to remain incarcerated while he awaits trial. The media frenzy surrounding Diddy's case has only intensified the scrutiny. Each new legal filing or hearing becomes headline news, further complicating the already challenging legal proceedings. Diddy's lawyers are aware that public perception plays a significant role in these high-profile cases, and they have worked hard to craft a defense that not only addresses the legal aspects of the case, but also attempts to repair his tarnished image. But with new allegations emerging almost daily, the legal battle is far from straightforward. New allegations, disturbing claims, and growing pressure. The latest round of allegations against Diddy has added another layer of complexity to his already precarious legal situation. A new lawsuit filed by a woman who claims that she was drugged and sexually assaulted by Diddy when she was just 13 years old has sent shockwaves through the media and the public. According to the lawsuit, the plaintiff was brought to a party after the MTV Video Music Awards in 2000, where she was allegedly drugged and assaulted by Diddy and another famous individual. The lawsuit also claims that a well-known female celebrity was present at the party and witnessed the assault. In addition to this lawsuit, Diddy is facing more than 120 other lawsuits related to similar allegations, each one compounding the severity of his legal troubles. As these lawsuits continue to pile up, public opinion has turned increasingly against him, with many fans and commentators expressing shock and outrage at the accusations. Social media platforms are abuzz with speculation, and the narrative surrounding Diddy is rapidly shifting from one of admiration and success to one of scandal and criminality. Diddy's legal team has denied all allegations, stating that their client has never sexually assaulted anyone and expressing confidence that the truth will come out in court. However, the mounting evidence, combined with the growing public backlash, makes it clear that Diddy's legal team faces an uphill battle. As the number of lawsuits increases and more disturbing details emerge, it becomes increasingly difficult for Diddy to maintain his innocence in the eyes of the public. The road ahead: a struggle for redemption. Diddy's life behind bars is a far cry from the world he once inhabited. The once vibrant mogul, known for his extravagant lifestyle and social prominence, now finds himself confined to a small, cold cell in one of the most notorious detention centers in the country. The loss of his freedom is a constant reminder of how far he has fallen from the heights of fame and fortune. For Diddy, the road ahead is uncertain. His legal battles are only just beginning, and with each new allegation and legal setback, the prospect of a lengthy prison sentence becomes more real. The psychological toll of his isolation, combined with the mounting pressure from his legal team and the public, will continue to weigh heavily on him as the trial date approaches. As Diddy's case unfolds, it serves as a cautionary tale about the dangers of unchecked power, privilege, and influence. For someone who once had it all, the consequences of his actions are now being realized in the harshest possible way. The road to redemption will be long and difficult, and the legacy he worked so hard to build may be forever tarnished by the criminal charges against him. In the end, the loss of his freedom may be the greatest punishment of all. For someone who once had everything, the absence of choice, privacy, and power is a fate more brutal than anything else he could face.